Hello, Blooming Writers. Welcome back to Writers Workshop. Yesterday we were establishing goals for our writing, and you want to know what writers do in order to help their writing to be strong, where readers want to read it. And that's a good idea when we're making a plan and setting goals for our own writing. Today I want to teach you that writers look at the books that they know well, and they gain ideas and inspirations from what others have written. First, writers think, how does the author include details to explain on a situation? And how can I copy or emulate what the authors have done in their writing in my own writing? Then writers try to write in details for their characters or events, just like the authors did in their books. Finally, writers read their story aloud to hear the emotion behind the words that have been written and to help readers understand the characters' thoughts and feelings. And today I'm going to model that for you in our mini lesson. Share my screen. Okay, so when we say emulate, like I was just telling you in our introduction, emulate means to copy or to use something someone has done as an example and try to be like that, or use the same ideas in our own writing style. And one of the ways we can do that is by putting in exact words that people say. Another way is by writing how people talk. In other words, explaining if they're whispering or if they're yelling or if they're excited or scared or nervous. Then you always use descriptive details. Then you tell, just like we've been talking about, small moments and zooming in bit by bit. So I'm thinking about the story we read, Pecan Pie. And what made the story Pecan Pie so good, and how, as a reader, we were able to make the connections and to understand what Jacqueline was trying to write when she wrote the story Pecan Pie Baby. Then we think about how did the author include details to explain on a situation? And finally, how can I try this in my own writing? So today I'm going to model that for you as I begin establishing my new writing based upon the goal that I set for myself yesterday, which was to start a new piece or a new writing. So to answer the first question, what made the story Pecan Pie Baby so good? I feel like some of the things that helped make Pecan Pie Baby so good was the dialogue. And I've got an example here that I remembered from the story. Gia said, "Time to give this stuff away. This stuff's too small," she said. So remember at the beginning of the story when they're sitting there and they're talking about how the leaves are changing, and the setting has been described as the leaves changing on the trees, and the trees are becoming colorful and summer's leaving. And they're going through a bunch of, I guess, clothes to clean out the closets to get ready for the new season. And so, remember Gia said, "Time to give this stuff away. That's too small." And what did Mama say? Mama said, "Let's keep it, Gia." So when Mama said, "Let's keep it, Gia," she replied with, in her mind, I knew what was coming next. More talk about that ding dang baby. So that really, just the wording that the author used and the dialogue between Gia and her mom really brought you in, and it helped you make connections about what Gia was feeling. And when she said, ding, dang, baby, we knew that she was not happy at the thought of a baby coming in and having a sibling, right? So the author used lots of details just in that little opening and that lead that began Pecan Pie Baby. And some of the details that the author used was the setting. Summer started leaving, which means it's becoming fall and the weather's about to get cooler, which would explain why Gia and her mom are cleaning out the clothes and preparing for the next season. And then another detail was now colors were in the trees. So it tells me that the trees are turning colors because fall is approaching. And the timeline says that the baby is coming when the first snow hits or comes. Well, so if we know it's fall, the next thing that's coming is winter. So the baby's coming soon. So now it's my turn. And I want to think about how I can use all of this in my story and in my own writing. I'm thinking I could do this by using strong leads with dialogue and details. So yesterday, my goal when I was talking about starting a new piece, I said I was going to write about the chickens in the restaurant. I bet you were wondering why I had the chicken in the background. Well, if you look real closely, you can see this is a restaurant with tables and chairs. And when we went in this restaurant, there was chickens everywhere. So I'm wanting to use this idea or this concept of dialogue to help me write my own story and to share those strong leads that Jacqueline Woods did in the story Pecan Pie Baby. So I'm going to start my story very similar. So I'm going to talk about what it was like. It was a hot, so first of all, I'm going to title my story, Eating with Chickens. Okay. And then I'm going to start my story. It was a hot, sweltering day in July when we arrived in Key West, Florida. Okay, so I've told a little bit about the setting of my story. So it was a hot, sweltering day in July when we arrived in Key West, Florida. Miss Sue, now I gotta tell you who was with us. Mr. Ron, Chef Matt, and myself were starving after the plane ride to Florida. All right, so now I know that I've shared with my readers that it was a hot day in July. We just got off an airplane and we're hungry. We're ready to go eat. So we found a place to eat. when we walked in. So now I'm going to add some dialogue to my story. Miss Sue screamed, because she said it really loud, and remember we said that we were going to use dialogue and explain how people talked. So she screamed, "What is that?" If you look right here in my picture, is that a chicken? So, and one of the things the author did in Pecan Pie Baby is they bolded words that they wanted to stand out, that when they wanted to get the reader's attention. And so they bolded Ding Dang Baby. So I'm going to bold, Miss Sue screamed, "What is that? Is that a chicken?" So now I have given details with the setting. I've talked about why we're going into the restaurant to eat and what we saw when we walked into the restaurant. We saw a chicken. So now that today, boys and girls, when you are writing, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to think about things that an author did in a writing piece that brought you in and that you enjoyed. And I want you to emulate or copy their style when you're sharing your ideas. So today and every day when you're writing, you can use this technique in your own stories and writing. All right? Writers, you've got your writing journal, you've got your pen, and I know you're excited and ready to go emulate these ideas and how Jacqueline Woods or some of the other authors that we've been listening to shared their stories and made readers want to read. So authors, off to write.